Um, okay, this is just a quick update on, um, currently, um, Waleed, the loser, has been paying some homeless people to try to yell obscenities at me. I think he's like panicking because people are getting restraining orders and they're getting sent to prison, and he was saying that I'm gonna get sent to prison. And I didn't know that, like, um, it was some random people that I'd never even met before who had something to do with it. As in, like, they were like, oh, and also Alex Abate actually made up this entire story about how, like, we knew each other and, like, we were really, like, close and stuff. And, like, I just, like, decided, like, I just started mistreating him one day and I just decided I didn't like him, and, like, it was because I was, like, mentally ill or something. And I was like, the fuck? I've never met this guy before. He's been stalking me in the area for a while. And then he asked me out on a date, and then I was like, I didn't know he was stalking me. That's the thing. And then he asked me out on a date, and then he's like, trying to tell me that, like, we know each other for so long, he still remember, etc., etc. I think he read one of the psychology textbook or something. And they were like saying how, like, you can, like, convince people to remember things that never happened. That's so weird. I what that? No, it's just, that's not what they're saying. He's telling me it's treasure. It's not treasure. It's so weird. Okay, so it's not what they're saying. I don't know why. He thinks he's a psychologist, which is, like, the problem. My phone just kind of. But yeah, it was Waleed who was, like, paying all these homeless losers to, like, come and stalk me. And I'm just like, he got triggered by my video when I was like, you need to leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm not interested in you, I don't like you. And he thought that, like, we were having sex. Yeah, every time he raped me, he thought it was sex, and he thought that if he has sex with me 4 times, then we're gonna get married. I'm like, are you stupid or something? All the cops in the area got triggered because I said they thought that I was like, they're stalking me and they think that, like, everything I do is for them, which is so weird. They're like, yeah, she's, like, talking to us and she's, like, dressing like this because blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell them, you know? Yeah, the guy that was helping me out for a little bit, like, he's super creepy. But he's actually, I don't know how to tell him this, but he has amnesia. I don't know why. I think, him and another guy, they both have amnesia. I actually also have amnesia, but they're not really considered a mental disorder. It's called infantile amnesia, where the person doesn't remember anything prior to the age of 2. And I'm assuming I think this is what they're trying to say, is that people who experience infantile amnesia is usually because of the fact that they've been exposed to environments, too much stimuli, very quickly, all at once for too long. Like, when you're as a baby, you don't have, like, the same cognitive processes as when you're an adult. So, like, especially since I was adopted, use the term loosely, it was new for me to be around people that aren't related to me and that I've never met before. And I'm pretty sure because the foster parents actually did end up taking me away, like, out of the adoption agency or something. They I think they did introduce me to a bunch of other people, and that, like, continual introduction to all these types of people and all these people that I don't know was probably a shock to me at such a young age. So I probably, like, have infantile amnesia, but I think it's because of that. And also, like, the fact that legally they're listed as my family, but we're not blood related. So I think some of the people, like, they really liked me, like, even though we're still listed as a legal family member. It was weird. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. And plus, like, I'm like, you're still, like, considered family, and they're like, it doesn't matter, you can still do things with me. I'm like, I don't think that's okay. I don't. I don't know if that's okay. I dropped my phone, and now it's not working properly, and I'm really upset. But yeah, they got seriously triggered. They finally caught the culprit. Apparently, some people have been selling things. I think it was Sean outside of the country under my name. I don't know why. It's maybe to like bypass taxes and tariffs or something. I don't know. Apparently, it's all my stuff. So it's like all my stuff. Some of them went out of the country, but they located it. And yeah, I already knew bad stuff was happening. To be honest. But yeah, I was like, I don't know what you expected. Like, if you can't do the time. Apparently, the cops can't tell who's a victim and who's a criminal. And I was wondering about that, but I think it's literally because some of the people that work at the police department who got responded to calls or something, like they couldn't tell initially because they behaved like as if they weren't, you know, like some people they thought were victims but turned out they were the perpetrators, and some people they thought they were perpetrators and then turned out they were the victims. And most of the time it was the other way around, and I guess that's why they can't tell or something. But I'm like, I wouldn't even like, honestly, I wouldn't even like make that assumption unless I had all the details. But it's kind of obvious when somebody's lying, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck he wants from me. I'm just like, leave me alone. Like, I don't fucking know this guy very enough. I don't know what she's saying. Some people have been being triggered by me telling people off. I'm like, you need to leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand why they keep bothering me. Also somebody told me it's all mine. Like, it's all my stuff. All my money, all my things, and they have no rights over it. And I was like, why would anybody, like, try to steal from me? This is such a funny meme. Okay, it's called How to Drive a Roundabout. And, this is, like, notorious in England. Like, I don't know if anybody's been to UK, but in the roads, like, when you drive, there's roundabouts everywhere. So like when you first get your learner's permit or something, like and you're learning how to drive, like to try to teach the new driving student how to drive from a roundabout. So it's like you kind of supposed to, this is how you're supposed to drive it. So you know how there's an outside circle, so you turn right and then you go like this if you're trying to go over there, and then you go over here if you're trying to go over there, and then you go all the way around, go over there, and then if you want to turn all the way back, you have to do it like this way. But if you're coming in from the roundabout, you have to go inside. So this is when you're coming from the right side and you stay on the right side, but if you're coming from the left side, you have to go inside over here, I think, and then go like that. So like if you're trying to, this is only one way, but if you're coming from the other way, you have to go this way. Yeah, it's confusing for a lot of people, and I'm like, I only know this because I live there. And it's like an ongoing British joke about the roundabouts where people just don't know how to get around the roundabout. This is like, you know what, just screw it. But like, you know, the driving school instructor is like just tired of your inability to drive or understand. It's just, you know what, just go through the entire thing. That way you get to where you need to go. Just ignore everything. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, and like some kid who's been bothering me has been trying to like show me some weird shit, and I was like, that's your shit, you weirdo. I mean, I think like the people here, like, my problem is that like they won't leave me alone. After I told them to leave me alone, that I'm not interested, but they think I'm like joking. Like, no, you really like me. I know that you're just saying that you don't like me. Because you don't want other people to know. Like, you want it to be a secret, right? And I'm like, no. Why do you think this way? And then they like make up all these excuses and like all these rumors, and like some of them actually get delusional, like mentally ill, and actually start to believe that we have a relationship when we don't. So I'd be making a disgusting face like this, but to them, because they're delusional and they're hallucinating, they think it's like a sexually aroused face. And I was like, what? But yeah, that's not it. It's so funny. Oh, my likes on Instagram are like, I'm like writing a story about like, I don't know who's hacking through my Instagram account, but somebody's been looking at it. But it's like a story about like my Tinder matches. So like all these guys, like, cause like I'm just like, I've been liking a lot of cute guys pics, and I was like, cause like it looks like a Tinder thing, and I'm like, this is like what people would use on their Tinder profile. And I think somebody was trying to tell me that they did go on Tinder a lot, and I'm like, I've never had success at Tinder ever. I mean, it was weird. Almost with OkCupid, but like apparently that's where porn stars and sex workers go to find dates, off of OkCupid. And somebody was trying to tell me like this, I don't know, I think they do this on purpose, where like they don't tell the strippers like how they end up. Like, so some girls, they get into it when they're really young, and they most of them really need the money because they're coming from bad homes or whatever, and they never tell them, like they never actually meet people who actually ended up stripping for a long time, and that's how they save up all their money. Like, I think they do that intentionally, not to show them like what it's like. And like, I think some of them saw what it was like, and they try to go on dates and stuff, and the guys were just like thinking of that, about them as just like sex objects or something. Like, it was weird, right? Like, not a lot of people want to date strippers and stuff, just because like about the people and the clients that they're involved with, and they don't think it's a big deal, because like, I guess when you're young, like, you don't really care about that kind of stuff. But I never like really wanted to get into that. I read about it all online. Like, there's a lot of sex workers talking about that kind of stuff online, and they were like trying to like dissuade a lot of women, especially young women, from getting into the industry, because they're like, you think it's like glamorous, but it sucks. And most of us would only stick around because like you really need the money. Like, you always have to look after your stuff. Like, people try to steal from you all the time, especially your coworkers. And like, and then they're like, yeah, you do get harassed like outside of work, but like, I don't know. And then they're like, they usually can't even get a decent housing, or like after they said they encounter this problem quite frequently when the employer was like asking them, how is it that like you weren't working and you weren't on any sort of like financial assistance, and like how they said they couldn't even list stripping as like a anything for their resume. So like, they were stripping for like 5 years, and they weren't on like financial assistance or anything, and then they can't actually list it on the resume for like any sort of like retail or restaurant jobs. And they're like, the employers always ask them like, what were you doing for finances for the past 5 years? And then they're like, if they try to bring up the fact that they used to strip or whatever, um, like a lot of them just don't hire them. They're like, oh, we can't really hire somebody who used to be in that industry due to blah 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 blah, or whatever. And like, they have a hard time getting out of it, because they're like, we don't know what other jobs we're supposed to work, because by the time that they like realize that they've already been working there for like a few years. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's why I was like, somebody was trying to get me to get into stripping. I think a few people were there, like, if you really need the cash, I mean, like, you're a pretty girl and you really need the cash, and like, you know, you can always like go and like try to get a stripping gig or something. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, just think about it. If you ever need it, it's there. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say to my employer? Like, I don't know how I'd list it on my resume. Can manage cash, but it's not somebody else's cash, so it can't be registered with cashier skills. I can handle conflict. It's not really a conflict situation. Like I don't know what I would put on there. Like probably like good at customer service relations and like customer service jobs. You know, I'm good with like client-based needs, like meeting client needs and all that kind of stuff. I know how to like sell services or products based on what's like working on commission and stuff, that kind of stuff. But outside of that, like there's not a lot of jobs that are decent and that can pay as well if you're looking for a different job. Like with that skill set, you'll make a lot more money doing strippers stuff than if you were to like work as a customer service telephone line. Like you'd be making minimum wage. So, and plus you have to answer to your supervisor, and like you have a lot of colleagues and stuff, and like maybe some of them like dug up information on you, or like it's just awkward if you meet somebody who knew about what you were doing and they start treating you differently or whatever. That kind of stuff. It's just weird. To me, I was like, but yeah, apparently the money is really good. But they said that was the only reason they got into stripping, was because like they made a lot of money off of it, like a lot. I was like, and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to make as much money if I wasn't stripping. But I'm like, what are you gonna do after you're done stripping? Like, how are you gonna tell that to your like boyfriend or whatever? Like, if I had a boyfriend, or if I was like planning on dating people, and they're like, what do you work as? And I'm like a stripper or something. I don't know if they'd be comfortable with that. Just cause like they'd be like, what? Like you get naked for other guys to pay you money? It's kind of weird. And like I don't know. This is weird. Super weird. Oh, my allergies are acting up. Yeah, so he wouldn't leave me alone. I already told him I'm not interested. And that was rape. And no, I'm not gonna let you rape me 4 times. You're insane. I will literally kill you. Yeah, I'm planning on murdering him. I already found out his weak points on his stature and like his general body pose and everything. So I'm like, yes, plus he's always high and he's really weak. And I think he got like plastic surgery and he was on steroids to make himself look like muscular and stuff. It was really weird. And so I'm like, yeah, that'd be an easy kill, but like, yeah, I was just like, ugh, not interested. It's not even fun. So, you want to be killing, but like self-defense. So I was like, please leave me alone, dude. I'm not interested.